in our Kumulipo, our creation story, it's one of the first islands that was born. I'm really excited that I am going to be going on this journey. I want to bring more awareness to other Kanaka and other people throughout the Pacific. I'm hoping that from documenting this firsthand, that it will bring more awareness to Hōlanikū, and more people will know about her, and they will know about the North Hawaiian Islands, and we can say her name again. Aloha and welcome to Native Diaspora. I'm your host Belinda, also known as Kalani. In today's episode, we are going to talk about the little change that the podcast is going to be taking. I'm going to be speaking about Hōlanikū, also known as Kure Atoll. Hōlanikū is an island in the northwestern Hawaiian Islands, the oldest island in the Hawaiian island chain. 30 million years old. The kind of history that she holds, the kind of mana that she holds, like just to give people an idea of like comparison between other islands, Hawaii Island is like 500,000 years old. So in this episode, I'm going to talk a little bit about Hōlanikū because I'm going there. I'm going to be living there. So if you're interested in learning more about this and basically the shift that the podcast dynamic is going to be taking, continue listening, tune in. Okay. So for those that don't know, I lost my job. I lost my job as a teacher, and I am really big on everything happens for a reason. And there's been a lot of synchronicities that have been coming in. I was a special education teacher here, and it wasn't working out. Yeah, we're just going to keep it at that. My lease is about to come up, and a few months ago, let me just show. So I have this tattoo. This is a koa, and I had gotten it in Tahiti in December of last year, 2024. I knew that I had wanted to get this bird specifically. This bird holds a lot of significance for me. When I was on Kauai, and for those that don't know, Kauai is where my ancestry comes from. I mean, it comes from all these islands, but most recently, like my great grandma was from Kauai. It's just, it holds a special place in my heart. And when I was on Kauai, right over the Mauna, there were all these beautiful koa like flying around. And at that time, this was maybe 4 years ago. I didn't even know what kind of bird it was. And I was just like in awe of this bird. My ancestor is buried behind this area, and there's all these koa that just that roam and fly over her grave. For me, it held a lot of significance. A lot of people think this is a manta ray, so I guess it has double meaning until I go like this. So I had gotten this bird tattoo in Tahiti. I got it in Tahiti because that's where the migrations came from. Yeah. So I was like, okay, if I'm going to get this tattoo, like I want to get it in Tahiti. It was way bigger than I anticipated, but I was like, you know what? Like, let's do it. I'm already in this chair, like no going back now. So I was like, bug it. And then my neck swelled up and I had like a double chin, and I was like, oh my God, I hate it. Anyways, fast forward, that was in December, and maybe like a month later, I had like this intuitive flash. I think they call it clairvoyance. I don't really know the name, but I had this I get these random like flashes or visions, and it was like 12:30 at night. And I was like, I'm going to write Papahana Moku. Moku is this organization. And basically, when I feel like I'm too forward even, we're going to take it back even further. So after my backpacking trip, which led me here on this island, I left Oahu and I moved to Hawaii Island. I started at the school that I was working at. I had went on this field trip with Papahana Moku, and they had talked about the Hawaiian archipelago. Saying that right? They were talking about the Hawaiian chain island, and that they were saying that there is this island called Hōlanikū. And I was like, what? Like, we have more islands? I didn't know that, right? He was explaining it like people have lived on this island, and they work with the birds. And I was like, what? Like, that was literally my dream as a kid. My dream as a kid was to like go into the marine rehabilitation field. I wanted to do marine biology, and I ended up lying for this like amazing job at a veterinarian spot working with marine exotic animals. They found out, and I was like so shame, and I was like, okay, I'm never going back to this field. And I just ended up going a completely different route and doing psychology and then special education. So it's like all coming like full circle, coming back again, right? I had learned about this and I was like, wow, that's so cool. I'm absolutely going to do that one day. And so I was talking to my coworker about it, and she had told me her friend did it. And I followed this girl's account, and I was just like in love with the videos and things that she had posted. And I had reached out to her. She had told me, like, oh, like they do volunteers like every 6 months or so. At this point, it's been like a year, right? I'm on the island, and I've been following this account, Papahanaumoku, for like a year, and they hadn't posted anything. So 12:30 at night comes, and I just like randomly email the main person, and he responds back to me in like 10 minutes. And I'm like, huh, that's weird. And he literally responds and he's like, oh, we're actually going to be opening applications next week and we're looking for volunteers. And so I was like, what? This is crazy. So I applied, and Papahanaumoku, it's on my vision board. So there's like a lot of things that I have on my vision board. Pretty much everything comes true. I'm real big on like law of attraction, manifestation. I see it every day when I go in the bathroom, I wash my face. There it is, Papahanaumoku. They offered me the position. And, I lost my job, and it just like aligned perfectly. I was like, kind of dismissing it because this is a really long trip. So I'm going to be on the island for almost a year. I'm going to be living with 4 to 5 other people. And it's going to just be like a complete, like, spiritual cleanse. There's a lot of reasons why I'm doing this. It was not it was not an easy decision, especially as someone who is just starting like my platform and making my podcast and trying to create merchandise. I was like, which route do I want to go? There was a lot of synchronicities coming. I was having dreams almost every night of Hōlanikū. And there was another article that I had read from another Kanaka, another Hawaiian woman, where she had done this journey, and she had said in her article that like she was having all these dreams and she didn't understand what they meant until she was there. And so I've been having a lot of dreams about Hōlanikū. I've been meeting like a lot of people. I met this woman, Bree, my auntie, but she like gifted me this sticker. She had went to Hōlanikū. I did this protest march. I got this awesome shirt, by the way. And there was another sis, another girl, another woman there who did Hōlanikū. I was just like, okay, like I'm noticing the synchronicities, I'm noticing the signs. I was just noticing birds, like Eva earrings and like t-shirts with all different kind native birds. And it was just like it was getting louder and louder and louder. And this is kind of what happened to me before I left to do the Polynesian Triangle. Originally, I really wanted to go to Mongolia. I wanted to backpack through Southeast Asia. It was like the kupuna were calling me to go to the Polynesian Triangle. And like at the time, I didn't even know that I had booked the Polynesian Triangle. I went to Rapa Nui, I went to Aotearoa, I went to Tahiti, and I didn't know the journey that I was going to be doing. And even when I was in Tahiti, I went to this marae, and I took a boat to Raiatea to go to Taputapuatea, which is the marae of the home of the Polynesian gods. And Hōlanikū, it's also known as that realm, and it's the realm of some of the gods or the deities like Kanaloa. Hōlanikū means bringing forth heaven. And Pele had, when she had traveled back to Kahiki, from what I know, it's also known as Tahiti, but it has also been used as like a mystic realm, something that once existed or does exist in another realm, also known as like a foreign place. There's lots of different like stories about that. But Pele, when she had voyaged back to Kahiki, she had left her brother as a guard at Hōlanikū. And also King Kalakaua, in the 19th century, he had wanted to obtain this moku, this atoll. So there's a lot of spiritual significance. There's a lot of mana that resides here in our Kumulipo, which is like our creation story. It's one of the first islands that was born. So it holds tremendous significance, and I'm really excited that I am going to be going on this journey. I'm going to be going with the Monk Seal research team, and from what I've been told, we're going to stop at some of the different islands on the way. I will be trained with the monk seal research team on how to target the monk seals. I'll be getting rid of the invasive species on the island. and doing a lot of conservation work and malama, like taking care of the aina, taking care of the land, also documenting the birds, populations. There's also several birds and sea life that are killed. And this island, it's in the midst of like of the trash vortex, right? So there's lots of trash that ends up getting washed up. I even had a dream about all of the trash that gets washed up on the island and it's killing our native birds, our native species. Within the next couple months, I am going to be doing my best to do as many interview episodes as I can. That way, while I'm away, I can still release footage. I don't know if it's going to be bi-weekly. It's going to really, it depends on how many interviews I rack up. My solo episodes are going to be more so documenting this whole experience. It's going to be bringing awareness about the trash issue, and I'm going to be documenting the native birds and also just documenting my journey through this. So Hōlanikū, it's a very, very small, and you can't leave. So I'm here on this island with 4 to 5 other people that I've never met. I have interviewed with 2 of the people that I'll be with, and I've been in, text communication with one of them, and he's great. I also had some reservations about going because the entire team is Haole white, and I have built a community here on this island. I've built a Hawaiian community, and I was really nervous to leave this Hawaiian community for a non-Hawaiian community, something that weighed really heavily on my heart. So this program has a lot of people from outside the continent apply because they send their information to like these colleges and universities on the continent. It's a volunteer opportunity, right? So most marginalized people cannot volunteer for 6 months or a year at a time without getting paid. And so it does attract a lot of white people because they have more opportunity to do things like this. So I'm really hoping to bring more awareness throughout the Pacific for others to apply to this program. And because I've backpacked throughout Polynesia, I do have connections in Rapa Nui, I have connections in Aotearoa, in Tahiti, and I have friends who also go backpacking through these areas. And I have my listeners, you guys, from all over, and I'm hoping that from documenting this firsthand, this whole experience, that it will bring more awareness to Hōlanikū, and more people will know about her, and they will know about the Hawaiian North Hawaiian Islands, and we can say her name again, and it will just like change the demographic of that space. I feel that maybe that's the reason why I was chosen. My friend was like, "Oh, you should do like those capsule things," or people are like on day 342. I'm sure I'll see a change in myself. The people that I've spoken with, they said it's a very profound experience, and you really learn a lot about yourself on a deeper level. I feel like this opportunity will really allow me to just really hone in on nature. And the whole thing of my podcast, right, I've talked about is seeing the world through the lens of our kupuna, of our ancestors. I think I've talked about language being one of those, and how I have a due diligence to learn the language, because as long as I keep speaking English, I'm still seeing the world through this Western way. And I think that language is absolutely a huge way to see the world in the lens of our kupuna, but I also think it's community and it's the way one lives. I think that adds another layer. I don't think I'll ever get the opportunity to live directly that close with the land in such an intimate way, and live with our native species and our native plants in such this like deep intertwined way. I feel that this experience will allow me to live it through the lens of our kupuna, away from capitalism, away from concrete, away from buildings. Like I will literally be going to the bathroom like in a hole in the ground, showering in the ocean. It's going to be very different than the way I live my life now. I don't know what to expect, but I think like even coming back, I'm gonna be a whole new bitch. I might not even be using that word anymore. No, I'm just kidding. You're gonna come out of this experience completely changed. I will still continue be doing art, and this art will be from a personal experience. I will have a little shop still where people can hopefully purchase online and get their orders and stuff like that. So that's basically what I'm going to be doing. And I'm going to keep it short. I'm going to keep it at that. Jeez, your girl can talk. If you're still here, leave a 333. Leave a 333 in the comments. Thank you for tuning in, and stay tuned for the next episode, which will be an interview episode. Shoot, small.